Good day, dear colleagues. Welcome to my session. My name is Nilufar Bigibayeva. I work for Innovation Center, which is under Uzbekistan State World Languages University. And today's our session is using grammar in context. When we say in context, we mean large text, which I use to learn grammar better. But what to do when you have just one textbook with us? In this case, we can use corpora. Corpora is a plural form of corpus, which is collection of different texts collected from all over the world. So here there is a demonstration of SketchEngine, which is corpus, but today I will be talking about Coca. Language corpus, as I told you, is a collection of real-world language samples because they are collected from different magazines, speeches, and essays, and written works, books. It's a principled selection of the language. What kind of principle can they use, you may ask? It can be either academic writing or oral speech or magazines or TV shows. According to these principles, they can be collected. It's usually electronic and searchable, like our Google search, but it's more language-oriented. And it's used for language research and teaching. Of course, it's a very valuable tool for dictionary makers because it collects all the samples from all over the world. There are different types of corpora, as I told you. For example, this is co-build. Then we have Coca, which stands for Corpus of Contemporary American English. Then we have SketchEngine, which you saw at the beginning of this slide. And then BNC, British National Corpus. Some of them are free, some of them you have to pay. I selected for you Coca because it's free. What can corpora show us? I will just tell you and then I will demonstrate how I did this. It can show us word frequency. For example, you want to know which word is the most used in English, whether it's article the or the article a or some preposition. Corpus can show you this. For example, what are the top 500 words in the language? How often does this word, jocular, for example, occur? It can show word clusters. For example, how one word is used with different variations. Which short expressions are very common in English? For example, if we say commit, it goes together with a crime, for example, or complete the task. Collocations. Collocations, these are words that typically goes together. Weak coffee, weak soup, or strong tea. And concordances. These are examples of particular words and phrases in a context. Benefits of using corpus or corpora for teaching. It's more accurate description of the language than textbooks and intuition. Of course, if you are a native speaker, you can use your intuition, but what to do if you are not? So not all the textbooks can represent all the samples of the language. Gives exposure to contextualized and meaningful language in real usage because its real texts are collected together. Examples of specific register. For example, you can search either academic writing or speech and it will demonstrate you how it's used. And genres of language. Reference tool for independent autonomous language investigation and learning. For example, if you are conducting some research, you can just put or create your own corpus as well to compare your corpus and real corpus, which is completed by native speakers. Other benefits for teaching. It gives learners exposure to non-textbooks language patterns because, as I told you, textbooks cannot cover everything. It gives learners access to a much larger language samples that classes are normally provide. And it can answer questions about everyday usage. Do people really say this? Because sometimes the phrase can be correct grammatically, but it doesn't make sense. What kind of specific application of the corpus can it be? It uses contextualized examples for quizzes if you just can collect from the corpus and withdraw from it. You can share a list of frequent words with your students or just for yourself. You can pre-select materials to explore particular language patterns for your students. As I told you, I'm going to talk about Coca, Corpus of Contemporary American English. It's free, but you have to log in, as I did in this picture. So I logged in, and it just showed the place of work. Now I can use it. Sometimes you will be just redirected just to payable version, but you just ignore it and reset and go and log in again. So this is my page in Coca. So what can we search in this corpus? For example, we can search for quick. I will demonstrate you in a minute. Quick is an acronym for key word in context. So in this video, I'm going to demonstrate you how to explain to your students how do we use the word rise. For example, very often they may ask you, what is the difference in usage of rise and raise? So we just go to this website, type rise and search. If you see in the middle, there is a word rise, and in alphabetical order, because I have chosen here 1 and 2, it shows in alphabetical order the words which is used after rise. You see, rise, it has different colors as well. Colors represent parts of speech. And then, for example, here, rise represented in 2 colors, in verb and in noun. And mostly after rise, if you noticed, we used either adverbs or prepositions. Probably in the video you have already noticed that some words are colored in different colors. Colors represent parts of speech. For example, green is adjective, pink is verb, then yellowish is adverb, yellow is preposition, and then blue is noun. So as you see, the word rise represents either noun or verbs. I took the same steps and searched the word raise, and this is what I got here. Raise is used mostly as a verb. It's mostly followed by the object. Raise mileages, raising money, raise my arms, as you see, and this is what you can explain to your students, that rise can be either noun or verb, and raise is mostly verb and followed by the object. Next example which I want to demonstrate for you is the difference between but and however. Very often when you are teaching writing in your class, you may say to your students that some vocabulary is different for oral speech and some vocabulary is different for writing. So a very valuable feature here is searching according to the chart. Please, can you demonstrate the video? And we'll type here, firstly, but. Then I go and click to the chart. And it shows in the chart, but is mostly used, as you can see, in the oral speech, in spoken. And if you click on this chart, it will show you some examples from the real context. You will see in a minute. You see? This is but and how it's used in the real language. Now, we can do the same with however in order to demonstrate to your students. Go to chart. Firstly, reset everything you have done. Go to chart and type however. And then you will see how often however is used in spoken language and however is used in academic. As you see, in academic language is used much more. And then again you click on this chart and then it will show you the real examples from the language. Yes, here. What else we can do with this corpora while teaching your students grammar? There is another feature of corpora, collocations. As I told you previously, collocations are the words that typically used together in the text. I have a very good example here. When I asked my student to translate achchoy into English, they typed and Google translated, if you see this on the video. and then they received from Uzbek into English, beta T. Maybe it's grammatically correct, but probably native speaker will not understand what does beta T means. So that's why we can just go to that website, to Coca, and search whether beta T is used by native speakers or not. So I did the same search with this word beta, but this time I searched not on the chart. I didn't click on the list. I clicked on the line where collocation is written, and this is what I received. Beta is mostly collocates with the following words: beta end, beta cold, beta taste, beta pill, beta battle, beta experience, beta man. But I couldn't find anywhere in this word the word T to collocate with. And then I went and searched collocates for T, and this is what I received: iced tea, which is used very frequently, green tea, hot tea, but no beta tea. But here I found some synonymous collocation, which is strong tea, in the line 11. So you can show this to your students and prove them that the beta T is not a collocation, and probably native speakers will not understand this word or phrase. Or another example, which I just want to demonstrate, in our Uzbek language, vazifa bajar moq, and we do not distinguish sometimes the word make and do. And very often our students, instead of do homework, they use make homework. How can you prove that which one is correct? Either do homework or make homework. You can just go and search again these collocations. Here I was going to demonstrate the difference between usage of make homework and do homework. Again, you do the search, firstly do, and then to collocate together, you just from part of speech choose nouns, because after do, homework is noun. It comes noun. That's why you make search, and it shows that do homework is used more frequently than make homework. This is the way how you can prove to your students that do homework is more appropriate for natural English. Okay. What other activities you can do with this Coca? You can give one word, like say woman, and ask them to find appropriate adjective for this woman, and they make search, finding instead of part of speech, instead of noun, they find adjectives which precedes woman. And they will get young woman, unidentified woman, old woman, beautiful, black, and etc. That was the end of my session, which was devoted how